Hey everyone, I am getting ready to go tackle the rat problem in the plot right now. I'm just waiting for my husband Danny to come home from work to go help me out because I do not want to be there alone. So I was there yesterday trying to clean up a bit, and one of the rats came out of the burrow and just like went right by my feet and just waiting there, like looking at me, waiting for me to leave. So the rats here are getting a little aggressive, I guess. They adapt, very fast, let's say. At least that's what I learned in the Rat Academy class that I took last year. And I wanted to come here real quick before to share with you guys some notes that I took. I'm planning to do a more formal video with more details about it, but that's gonna take a little time, and I need to start managing this rat situation as soon as possible at the plot. So I'm just gonna go right into action, and then in a couple weeks when I have more time, I'm gonna try to just make an organized video with all the facts and everything and sharing all my notes that I took from the class. But I have them here with me, and I want to share them with you real quick, briefly, and then just share a little bit more about what I learned and what's my plan for the rat situation over there. So I have this little document here that I have written down after I took the class, and oops, I haven't looked at this for a while, and actually I'm impressed by the amount of detail I put in here, so that's actually pretty good. But first thing they talked about was the species of rat, the kind of rat that actually is most common here in New York. So that's the Norway rat. There's a few facts about it that's important to know. So it lives about 5 to 12 months. This word is a little bit hard, but I'm going to try to put here on the screen and let you know. It's stigmotactic. So that means that it relies on touch to navigate, and their vibration trigger behavior respond. But they're explaining this, like they have the little like receptors in their head. So that's what that means. If vibration things, like if they feel like a little thing touching their head, they get triggered to dig. So that's why it's important to keep like lower branching, like lower vegetation or no weeds and stuff in the garden, because if they're going around, if they're passing, they feel a little thing in their head, they dig. So that's the first thing I want to do. I'm going to address in the garden today is to clear off the brush, take out anything that can be, kind of hiding material for them, and also try to trim the leaves of everything about like 6 inches above the soil, so they don't get triggered by this digging motion. And they are also neophobic, so they dislike anything new and unfamiliar, but that doesn't really apply to the New York City rats. It says that they can be slow at first, but the New York City rats are quick to adapt, so they will respond pretty quick and not be as afraid as regular behavior would be. And then uses lines to navigate, which is good to know, because I noticed the pattern that they actually definitely walk in the garden. They go along the fence over there. They have poor eyesight. They have a keen sense of smell, and they get attracted from the smell of themselves. So that if there's rats in there, they're gonna get attracted to it, and also the smell of food. And something really weird that I've learned, that rats actually eat dog poop. So they also get attracted to that smell, and they only need 1 ounce of it per day to survive. So there's tons of dogs here in my neighborhood, and a lot of people that walk them and do not clean the poop, because I always see dog poop in the sidewalks, which is sad. It's also kind of hard to know that they can't even survive on that, but they also get attracted to the smell of that. And obviously they say not to feed the birds, the squirrels and stuff around here, because that also will attract them, because they get attracted to any food smell plus the trash. So I can't control that stuff. No, we live, New York City. People put the trash in the curb, on the sidewalks, in black plastic bags, which the rats can just chew through it and eat the food scraps in there. So there's not much I can do there. And there is unfortunately a couple people next to the plot that actually feed the birds. They always throw bread in there and fruit rinds and stuff. So I can't control the food source. They're always gonna have some food source in here. So that's unfortunate, because they like to live close to a food source. So they also say that the primary activity is at night, but again, New York City rats are more adaptable. And if you see rats during the day, it's usually a juvenile rat or a rat that haven't still asserted dominance. So I've been seeing these rats during the day, so I'm not sure. They're pretty big, the ones I saw, so I'm not sure if they're juvenile, but maybe they just haven't got up there the dominance scale yet and have to forage during the day. And I just also saw that unfortunately that a lot of the many places in the park close to us have been treated for burrows. So I've been seeing those little signs everywhere, and I don't know, concerned that might have also displaced them. They're not there anymore and coming to our garden to find new shelter. So that's also unfortunate. Nothing I can do about that. And the gestation period of the rats is only 22 days, and they can have up to 7 litters per year, and each litter can have 8 to 12 pups. So to get infestation is really fast, so that's why we have to act now when we're just seeing them. And I'm just not very happy about doing all of that. You know, living here just makes it hard to manage, since there's all these other factors that I can't really control. You know, they have a food source next to us, can't do anything about that. They're always gonna get attracted to the plot, that's what that means. And then what I really have to try to do is just like keep up with the cleaning there and try to keep closing the burrows, but we're gonna get to that. So then has a little section here asking where the rats live in New York City. So it says in earthen spaces within 100 feet of reliable food supply, which obviously we have here everywhere, plus there's restaurants around me, so they always have a reliable food supply. The trash itself, we always give food to them. Cluttered spaces provide shelter and gives them a sense of safety and protection. That I can try to, you know, control in there and take the shelter piece of it. They also explain in there that they have like the triangle of life, that they need food, water, and shelter, and you have to disturb those. So I'm not going to water the garden for a while, which is sad for my plants, but I don't want to give them a water supply. It's gonna rain tomorrow, so we'll see what happens there, but hopefully I'm not gonna supplement that much water anymore. And we're gonna clean the debris today. I have pruned some stuff and put in the compost in there. I'm gonna take a clear plastic bag. We're gonna cut stuff and take everything out. We can't leave that in the floor anymore, fortunately, which is sad because I wanted to leave them there to feed the soil, but we're gonna have to pick up bottles here. So I'm gonna get a clear plastic bag, put all of the plant debris that I have in there, clean everything up. We have to weed the whole section under the grapevine because that could be providing shelter to them over there too. I have noticed that they are burrowing under the fig tree because I had the idea early in the season to put cardboard in there and cover with mulch. Well, that apparently made the perfect nesting space for them because it just went into between the fig tree and the cardboard, dug some stuff, and then took home in there. So I'll show that to you in the plot. You will see when we go there. You can see the dirt mound right next to the fig tree, which means that they were just taking the dirt out to make, you know, the burrows. They have this little system. I have a picture here. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I'll try to put maybe like a over the screen on the internet one that I see, but this was from the class that I took. So it's a pretty long burrow, and there's an entrance and a bunch of escape holes, and they like to cover the top with debris, so they will bring trash to the garden to actually cover it up, or find stuff from the garden like little woods and twigs and stuff. So we have to try to clear all of that, and they usually nest in the middle, and the nest is usually about 12 inches down the soil, so it's a lot. It's pretty deep, so we're gonna have to probably disturb that for a while. But then let's talk about tips for safe urban gardening and recommended plantings. So they recommend that you always plant vase-shaped shrubs or bushes that you can trim up to 6 inches above the floor. When actually I worked in restaurants here in New York City, everything, or in Hawaii too, but everything had to be also 6 inches above the floor, so it's kind of the same logic there. I might even trim up a little bit higher because I don't want them to feel all that little touching, triggering situation and digging all over my garden. And then it says to do no dense plantings and do not have a garden near food sources. So impossible for us. So food vendors, restaurants, or high food traffic because people throw stuff on the garbage. So that's sad. I can't control that. And then spatial planting. So I'm going to have to take a lot of the stuff out in there, unfortunately. So I know my veggie stuff, it's kind of spaced out okay. I'm just gonna still trim the bottom, and I'm gonna have to probably cut some flowers. I'll probably have to take a lot of the feverfew in there that's making sort of a brush. There's some, I'll show that to you guys when I go there. It's hard to explain without a visual, but I'll show you guys the plan. And definitely we have to weed under the grapevine because that place always get out of hand. I always get sort of like put my attention where I'm planting things. Sorry, it's very windy today. Hopefully you guys are, hopefully the mic's picking up my voice. But I usually, you know, focus when I have to weed and stuff and I have time to go to the planting part of the plot so I can manage there, and I always kind of forget the grapevine part, and it's just the weeds there like so tall. They are unmanageable. We had to also take them down last year because of the rat problem also. It's already getting a little late, to be honest. I'm not sure if my husband and I are going to have the energy to do everything. So let me just keep going here before I get too distracted. So things to consider. Consider to test your existing soil because feces and urine can contaminate the soil, though they say to not touch the soil if you see rats in there because it can be contaminated. And then use garden beds or boxes containing clean soil on top of existing soil, which we can do that. I can't afford to build new soil and raised beds, so I did ask about that on the class when I was taking the class and making these notes. They say that if you can't do that, just plant fruiting plants, so plants the fruit above the ground, so that way you'll be less risk of being contaminated. Obviously there's also the risk of splashback with the rain, so if the rain hits the ground and splashes back into the fruit, that can get contaminated too. So just a little discouraging, you know, to have to garden with these conditions. Thankfully I don't have anything here in my backyard, at least that, because I have stray cats and I never seen a rat in here. But over there it's becoming harder every year. We are not composting this year because of that, even though I always had a vegan pile. I never put human food in there, but they last year got attracted to that too, because maybe the sheltering and stuff that they found, they borrowed in there. So no composting this year. We're gonna clean everything up, and then the next step, they say here, one of the managements, you know, they have a bunch of other things here that I'm not gonna go through, but like, do not feed wildlife, develop my maintenance checklist, like every day go there and check. I don't have time for that. Wear gloves, you know, and then use clean soil and compost on top of the existing soil. A bunch of stuff. But then after gardening, always wash your hands with soap and water, wash your tools, change your clothes and shoes immediately before entering your home. Peel and wash all vegetables and fruits very well. And peel all root vegetables and tubers before eating. And it's not safe to have smaller children around, since soil can be contaminated. So not only with mouse dropping toxins, also heavy metals, because we're in New York City, so it's not safe to have kids around the garden. Isn't it sad? Here in New York, it makes my heart like ache thinking of all these things, because I love gardening so much, and I don't know, but keep going here. So one of the things that we can do is they recommend to do borrow harassment. So you just have to go there and close the borrow every day and count the borrows. You have to count every day. If there's more than 12 borrows, it's considered an infestation and have to get a professional to get there. Again, they say deny them entry with borrow harassment, so just keep like caving the borrow using a hand shovel, garden hoe, or by stomping with a heavy boot, and then monitor and repeat every day. Go there and keep closing the borrows to stress the pet and maybe hope that they're gonna leave. So let's see. And also say to not place a board, rocks, bricks, or bottles over into a rat burrow, or pour any liquids into the rat burrow. That won't work. And if you're adding these other things, it's just increasing the shelter, making it better for them. They like to cover it. So it's just the best process is just closing it up with dirt and stomping in it. Then there's a bunch of stuff here about like what kind of trash cans you should use. I have no control over that. And that's it. I mean, there's some other stuff here about integrated pest management, which means if you have to actually, sorry about this helicopter, if you have to actually call someone to deal with the rats for you. Just a quick recap. We're gonna clean debris, we're gonna trim all the vegetation 6 inches above the soil, we're gonna harass the borrows, we're gonna keep stomping on the borrows and closing them every day to stress them out. And that's all we can do. So we're gonna monitor and see how it's gonna do in the next few weeks. I'm gonna try to keep up with the pruning and the weeding, and we'll see. We'll decide, I guess, what to do when time goes by. But that's the plan. I'm gonna start getting ready here to go take a walk there now, and I'll show you guys how everything's looking. I saw them going underneath, like trying to get in between those guys. So let me just show the plot real quick. So this is how it looks right now. So lots of brush, lots of, you know, hiding spaces for them. And then the biggest problem we think it's always here under the grapevine that's like taken over by weeds. And I saw one squeezing in between these guys over there. And real quick then, excuse me. And then here, it's where the burrow is. You see all this mound, all of this dirt coming out, means that they dug all of that from below and they're taking it out to make their nest underneath. So we're gonna have to disturb that and probably try to take the cardboards out of there too, so we're not providing them shelter. But then I'm gonna come around later and I'm gonna have to take a lot of this stuff out. I'm gonna have to cut all of that probably. Also this stuff over here gonna have to come out because it's you know, unfortunately it's yarrow, but it's brushy. They can hide over here. And this stuff over here is probably gonna have to come out, or I'm gonna have to trim it 6 inches above the soil. The vegetables are probably okay. I would trim all the peppers and stuff. I'm gonna have to probably harvest the lower peppers so the rats don't eat them. On this side here, that's where I saw them first. They were right below the zinnias, and that's where we had the borrows last year in here. So this is looking pretty clear, but we're gonna have to trim around. So this area here, I'm gonna have to trim the zinnias all the way down. I have tagged the zinnias here that I'm going to save for seed. Those are the beautiful floret zinnias. I'm not harvesting them. Now I'm just gonna let them be and save these open ones for seed. So I'm gonna trim them 6 inches, and then I'll see what I'm gonna do here in this corner, because this is the line that they actually walk to. So they come through there, walk along this wall, then I'll walk along this fence, and then come here and hide in the compost, which has some brush in there too, which was my fault because I was weeding, cleaning up, and pouring there, and then they're hiding. So I'm gonna go over there today with a bag and clear all of that up. And then this side here in the back doesn't look too bad. Things are more spaced out, but I'm gonna have to also trim this eggplant, trim all of the tomato. It's just a lot of work. And then also, you know, try to this little wildflower habitat situation. I'm gonna have to probably change. I'm unfortunately probably gonna have to trim some stuff out of there too. Oh, that sounded scary. But anyway, so Danny's already going to start working on that side. I think he saw something in there. I'm gonna set the camera down. Going the other way? We have to wait, but if they're here, you know, I want them to get out.
So if you disturb them and make them run away,
And then we do.
they see him, right?
Ah! I'm gonna go over the chair because I don't want them to come.
Scare them back and out.
Okay, I hope they go that way, because when I try to scare them here, they literally walk towards my feet. So then he just closed the burrow that was underneath the fig tree, and now he started on weeding under the grapevine. I went off camera now because I was going to the back to start cleaning up that area that I showed where a compost used to be, so the dead plants that I had put in there previously when I was cleaning. And I also did some weeding in the back area of the plot by where the wildflowers are growing. So I decided to clean as much as I could, and I got a full bag just from that little time. All right, hopefully it's still filming. So we got a couple bags already full here. I'm gonna go back to the apartment and take this. We're gonna label this as yard waste so the city can take it back. And then I'm gonna come back with my little cart and more bags, because we haven't even taken a dent and we've already got a lot of stuff out of here. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have more bags in here. Denny's working over there. He just said he saw one leaving and going down the driveway over there. So one of them is not here. I'm gonna work now on clearing this fig tree brush and over here in the yarrow. And then here's a bag for you. You don't have to bag this stuff, or you'll do everything after. Okay. Actually, I was not even sure if I was appearing in the camera. Here I am, but no, we just want to do this fast before they come back. So I hope you guys understand. Ah! Where is it?
Back here.
Oh my gosh, me and my yells. Oh, I see it. Oh, he went the other way. It's gonna come down this way. You think he went out?
No.
How many do you think we had? So that was 2 so far. Pretty soon we're gonna come out of here too. It is what it is. Okay. This is the place I was more scared down here, because that's where I saw the biggest mound, and that's where I came out from yesterday. I wonder if it's connected underground, because they said they can go on the sidewalks because they can shoot through it. They can shoot everything that's softer than metal and steel. Sure. Bump it pretty hard, so we gotta go back out somewhere else. Alright, so now I'm working on cleaning all of these lower branches that are sprouting out of the fig tree so they don't get stimulated to dig once they go over there. This was the entrance of the burrow, because as we saw in that little burrow image, the entrance is usually where there's the mound of dirt. So I am cleaning this up pretty good. I decided to prune some stuff around the back too, and then I moved to the feverfew. I'm cleaning the back side of the bed first, because as we also learned, they like to move in lines, so they usually go against a wall back there in the fence. So I wanted to clear all of that up first to make them sort of exposed, And then I kind of started working towards the front of the bed because I was afraid at this time that we're not going to have a lot of time because it was starting to get late. So I cleaned up a little bit of the sweet peas too and some weeds that were growing along the fence. Okay, so Danny just finished. I'll show you guys. This is my side, not too much, but over here, we just took everything out. Did you see any more borals around other than the two that were in the front?
Just two.
Okay, and they're both in the front.
One here and one in the middle.
And one in the middle. Alright, so I don't really want to walk there, you guys. We're going to stomp on this and try to compact the soil.
I filled them in.
You filled them in, that's good. And then we're going to take this. This is from last year that just came back. We're going to take this out today too. And then I'll keep you guys updated. This is how my side looks. I still got to finish with the feverfew. And at least to the yarrow for sure because of the two bushes parts. Plus the zinnia and the asparagus in there and the dahlias. We're gonna see what we're gonna do in this corner because that's where they did borals last year. And here are some of their droppings. So they are coming up here too, which is definitely not nice. So we did a little bit more cleaning before it got too late. While Danny was packing out the plants, he took it out. I decided to trim the yarrow and finish with the feverfew. We also removed some pipes and stuff that were along the walls to discourage them to have stuff to touch on, and then just cleaned up a little bit more. All right, so we got all of these bags in here and we did some work. We're pretty tired right now, so we're just gonna end this video in here and I'm going to post an update for you guys in the next coming days. Thank you so much for watching today. If you have any tips for us, please leave them in the comment section down below and I'll see you next time.